Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Team Sonic Racing. In this part we're going on to the second Grand Prix. So we've got Whale Lagoon, we've got Mother's Canyon, we've got Pinball Highway, fucking great, and we've got Hidden Volcano. Let's get into this, and I feel like I should maybe change up my character. So what you'll see here is we've got the three different character types. You've got the speed characters, you've got the technique characters that are sort of your all-around characters, if you're familiar with the Olympic Games spin-offs, and you've also got your power characters. Usually I don't use the power characters that much, but for the sake of a playthrough and showing things off, let's go with the main man himself, Big. And yeah, Big the Cat, I know in recent times he's become a bit of a, I guess, controversial character. Not because of any way that he's handled. Ultimately, he is just the same lovable dumbass that he was in Sonic Adventure. And the same in Sonic Chronicles as well. He's actually really good in Chronicles in my eyes. But because he's kind of become the poster child for the more me, not taking the series all that seriously kind of marketing that they like to do. Big the Cat is basically, he fits right into the hands of Game Grumps tier humour. I am off to an awful start here. But I feel like that's why a lot of people aren't too fond on seeing him show up all the time now. He was in the original Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing game, but I don't think he was in All-Stars Racing Transformed, to my recollection. I don't remember seeing him. Granted, it's been a very long time since I've played and completed so far. But yeah, I will say, in terms of the marketing these days, it does rub me the wrong way sometimes. Like, they do some legitimately cool things. Like when they do like the voice actor takeovers and stuff like that on the Twitter account, that is actually a really good way of engaging people. And it also leads to some funny shit coming out as well with the characters. But when it's the more kind of, like that one tweet they put out a little while ago that was trying to play off the whole Silence brand meme, and they put out a post that was like, here's your comeback to all our brand accounts, and it was just like Silence fan or something like that. And that, you know, that kind of misses the point in my eyes. And also I feel like there's a certain degree of, you need to not maybe make such a jokey franchise. Like there's not taking yourself too seriously, which, you know, that's good. You know, there's being on the level with the fans, and then there's, you know, just having a laugh with people and doing some funny stuff that people enjoy. That's good marketing. But then there's the whole constant little jabs at 06 and playing to the hand and partnering up with people like Ego Raptor, constantly making Sonic is like a failure kind of jokes. Like Ego Raptor's entire shtick with Sonic is, look, it's so bad, let's just play it badly and complain the game's bad. And so when you're becoming buddy-buddy with people who trash your franchise unironically all the time, it kind of shows, I don't know whether I'd say complacency, because ultimately the PR team aren't the guys who are in charge of polishing up the games, they're just the face of it. But given, like, from a unified brand perspective, I don't think it's a good look. Kind of want to at least give people a bit of confidence that you're not going to repeat past mistakes. I will say, I know that this is becoming a more suspect topic these days compared to when the Sonic account started memeing full time. Because when Aaron first took over the account, it was a lot of fun. And like I say, a lot of the time it still is. The voice actor takeovers are a lot of fun, and some of the memes they post are a good laugh. I don't want this to sound like I'm just shitting on Aaron or I'm shitting on any other people who work the account, because ultimately I feel for the most part they are a positive face for the series. It's just sometimes it goes a bit far, and I shouldn't drive in the lake here, should I? But it's a bigger thing in recent times, I feel, because a lot more corporate accounts are doing this kind of thing. It was quite an original thing for an account to be doing. A lot of the time, I think it was around like 2014, 2015, I want to say, when that started going on more often on the Sonic account. And most brand accounts then, a few years back, it was mostly just a bare bones, like they'll tweet when something comes out, they'll tweet like if someone's asking for support, and otherwise like the accounts were mostly quiet. And I feel like it was a fairly new thing that the Sonic team was doing. That I shouldn't have come off there. I don't know, I swear I made that. I just feel like in more recent times it's becoming much bigger of a thing, and so people are a bit burnt out on it. And given a lot of accounts don't know how to do that as well as the Sonic team have conventionally done it, it feels very cynical. It feels like, you know, that how do you do fellow teenagers or whatever the fuck it is. It feels like that with a lot of companies. And so a lot of times when people see the social media account for a certain brand making the funny memes, that it's not as much of a play along with it, and it's more of just like an instant sigh. Granted, that's an each to their own, but just how I kind of feel about the thing. We'll say throughout this course and a couple of others, we've had a few frame drops here and there, which it's this game's performance, it mostly holds to 60. I'm playing on the PC version here, and PC versions of Sonic games in recent times not been the most consistent. Like Forces came out completely broken at launch and it had to be fixed a few hours later. This game, it's mostly functional, although I do notice some frame drops here and there. Even though I have fucked around with my settings a lot, I actually have a piece of software called River Tuner running underneath the game here that it forces it to 60 frames. Because if you have it uncapped, then it gets a little bit funky in certain areas. You get a bit of stuttering, and it doesn't run too well. So get River Tuner. Make sure your VSync in the game is off, but have River Tuner or something like River Tuner running to, you know, make it not try to go above 60. But yeah, I will say that on the whole, it runs okay. All Stars Racing Transformed runs a lot better. I do tend to use River Tuner with that just to avoid bits of stuttering, but I don't usually have any frame drops when I'm doing that setup with All Stars Racing Transformed, whereas I do here. So I kind of get the vibe that All Stars Racing Transformed is a bit better optimized. In terms of the other versions of the game, I have only played this, so I haven't played in the console ones. To my understanding, the PS4 and Xbox ones run alright. Like, apparently they run at 60. I know the PS4 one does, at least to my recollection. I haven't seen anything with the Xbox one, but I would imagine if the PS4 one does, then that will as well. The Switch one runs at 30, which, you know, like, it's the Switch. It's a dumbed down version of the game. Not in terms of content, but in the fact that they've, you know, adapted it to a lower end system. So I was kind of expecting that, but at the same time, you know, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe runs at 60, and visually speaking, it's kind of on par with this. Like, in some areas, you could possibly argue that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe looks better. It's an art style thing more than technical quality, I'd say, so that's more subjective, but it's a little bit disappointing that you can't have a handheld version of this game running at 60 when you can with Mario Kart. Although, I watched a bit of Cyberman's playthrough of the Switch version, and compared to these handheld variants of previous Sumo Digital racing games, it seems like it's still came out a lot better. I've never played the first one, like the DS version of it, but I've heard bad things. But I have played the 3DS version of All Stars Racing Transformed. As much as I love that game on console and on PC, it's fucking trash on 3DS. And I'm saying that just as a completely irredeemable port. It, in certain ways, I see it as doing to All Stars Racing Transformed as what Sonic Genesis on the Game Boy Advance does to Sonic 1. It's not a good port by any means. Not only does it perform horribly, like if you get 30 frames at any point in that game, you are really getting lucky. It chugs like an absolute bitch all the way through, and not only does it chug on a handheld system, but it also has major screen tearing issues, full on horizontal and vertical. In fact, I think it's mostly vertical screen tearing. I seem to recall it being vertical. I was just trying to remember there what I was seeing, but you know, like, it's an absolute shit show. And part of why I figure that is that whereas with Mario Kart, when there's a handheld Mario Kart, it is made from the ground up for a handheld. This game, all the assets look like shrunk down versions of the HD version of the game. My team are doing pretty shit here, I'll say, thanks Omega. But like, it looks like they've just shrunk down the HD assets, which not only causes a bigger workload for the system, which it can't handle, but also looks a lot worse. Everything's crunched up on the screen. It's tiny, it's hard to make out where you are on the screen sometimes. Come on. These menu screens go on a bit, I will say. That is one of my problems with the game. But it's only a minor thing. Okay, so I won overall by actually a fair bit, which, given how much Omega let us down in that race, I'm relieved about. Let's see what's coming up next with Hidden Volcano. So, this track here, it's pretty much doing what Bowser's Castle does in, I want to say 8 in particular, because you've got the giant statue that smacks down. It works a very similar kind of way. And so, like, just avoid getting crushed and you should be alright. But yeah, like I was saying, there's a certain kind of thing that kind of has to be considered, or at least had to be considered when making handheld versions of games, which with how the Switch is not as big of a deal, because the Switch ultimately, it's not on par with a proper, you know, consoles and PCs. Good job paying attention. I give up. No, but like it's not on par with them, but it can at least do a pretty good job. Like, nowadays I'm less concerned about the things that has to be cut down, and with certain games I will just get on the Switch even though it's an inferior version, just because I like being able to just pick it up and play it, rather than having to either stop what I'm doing on the PC and dedicate my PC's resources to playing a game, or playing a console where I'd have to go and set up my TV. I know this is the epitome of first world problems, like, oh no, I have to put in effort to set up a video game. Like, I know that, but you know, as far as convenience goes, it is cool to just be able to pick up the Switch and play that whenever I feel like it. It stays on the dock when I'm not playing it, so it's always charged and ready to go. And you know, I can just pick things up. I started playing Final Fantasy VII, which, you know, it's a kind of long RPG, so being able to just pick up whenever I feel like playing a little bit, and also given, you know, it's got the easy standby. I haven't got to worry about getting to a save point if I just want to play for a little while, which is a huge game changer when you play in RPGs. Although with the Switch, I do wish it had a better D-pad, because as someone who really likes 2D platformers, playing that on the shitty Joy-Cons is not convenient at all. I will say, in terms of this track, to get back on topic, because I know I've been doing a lot of rambling in this part so far, the track aesthetic, it is really cool what they're doing. They're doing the Fire and Ice thing, not explicitly a reference to Sonic Boom Fire and Ice, which is a game I like quite a fair bit actually, but that's the aesthetic they're going for that look, the look of contrast, and it does actually look really cool in my eyes. I probably would have preferred something based more off a game track, like maybe if instead of doing the ice thing you went with Hot Crater. I know, Advanced 2 Bias shown again. You know, I would just prefer that, honestly. Right, Omega keeps fucking up. Like, I hope he actually takes his shit I'm trying to send him and does something about his current position. It's like, I don't mind third or fourth or whatever, but if you're sitting at the back when I keep offering shit to help you out and you're just not using it, like, Omega, you are kind of being the problem there. And I like that in this I can actually deflect blame to the AI characters. It is actually their fault, not me just being a scrub this time. Come on. Someone do something and get Omega ahead. Because I feel like I'm gonna lose a lot of points. At the end of the last race I had a look at the thing and I was doing alright, but might not be the case here. I'm actually kind of proud of that little bit of drifting there. Don't know why, it's like the basic thing you need to do to play the game, but hey. Best of the best. And my team let me down. Skip through the things again. I stayed on top. Thank the Lord. I would have been mad if I had fucked up, but there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the second Grand Prix. Join me next time where we go on to the third one. See you then.